Women like you don't deserve children. My sister sent that text after dropping her kids at my door and leaving. 11:30 p.m. I was on a plane to Chicago for a VP interview. My name is Patricia Bowen. I'm 31, a senior project manager. This was the third time. 2 years ago, I canceled Seattle training. Last year, Boston conference. Same sister, different emergencies. I said yes both times. December 15th, she called again. 9:47 p.m. I said no. Our honeymoon had been delayed 8 months. I boarded the plane. When we landed, 16 missed calls. Her text: "They're crying for their aunt. You chose a promotion over blood." What my family didn't know, my husband had 18 months of receipts. That's when everything clicked. This was never about emergencies. It was about keeping me in my place. Before I tell you what happened next, please take a moment to like and subscribe, but only if this story resonates with you, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and what time it is there. Now, to understand why I walked away from everything I knew, let me take you back to the beginning. Seattle was supposed to be my breakthrough. June 2023. My company selected 12 people nationwide for VP track leadership training. 2 weeks in Seattle. I'd been working toward this for 3 years. The email came on a Tuesday. I printed it out, hung it on my fridge. Nathan took me to dinner to celebrate. 4 days before my flight, Rachel called. "Mom needs surgery," she said. No greeting. "Hip replacement. She's terrified. I can't take time off work right now, you know my situation." I didn't know her situation. Rachel called her wellness coaching business work, but I'd never seen her earn a paycheck from it. Still, I didn't say that. I said, "When's the surgery?" June 18th. My training started June 12th, ended June 26th. I checked my calendar even though I already knew. That's right in the middle of my Seattle trip. I know. Her voice got softer, more fragile. But Mom specifically asked for you. She said you're the calm one, the one who explains things so she understands. The calm one. That's what they called me when they needed something. I looked at the printed email on my fridge. Alaska Airlines confirmation. Flight 2156, seat 12A, $620, non-refundable. "Can we push the surgery back a couple weeks?" I asked. "Just until I'm done with—" "Patricia," Rachel's voice sharpened, "this is Mom's health. You really want to ask her to delay surgery so you can go to a training? There will be other trainings." There wouldn't be. This was the VP track. You got invited once. I canceled the trip. Mom's surgery went fine. She was home in 3 days. I stayed with her for a week, helping her with physical therapy exercises, bringing groceries, setting up her medications. A month later, Nathan was helping Mom move a box in her garage. He found the surgery paperwork. Original schedule date, May 2nd. It had been on the books for 6 weeks before Rachel called me. They could have told me earlier. They could have planned around my training. They didn't. Nathan showed me the paperwork. He didn't say anything. He didn't have to. I told myself it was a miscommunication, a scheduling oversight. But something felt wrong, like a small crack in a windshield you can't stop looking at. Boston was different. I saw it coming. October 2024. Leadership Conference. 4 days. Executive VP from corporate would be there. Sarah, my direct manager, pulled me aside 3 weeks before. "This is your shot, Patricia. I'm putting your name forward for the restructure conversation. You need to be in that room." The conference was October 14th through 17th, Boston Marriott Copley Place. I had the booking code memorized, EXEC 2024-8291. Rachel called October 10th. "Childcare crisis," she said. Mason was 4 then. Lily was 6. My regular babysitter just canceled. Both kids are sick. Not hospital sick, but too sick for school. I have a huge work commitment this week. I literally have no one else. I was packing for Boston. I had my presentation printed, my hotel reservation, my flight in 4 days. "What about Mom?" I asked. "Her back's been bad. She can't lift the kids. What about their dad? Silence. Then, you don't have children, so you don't understand how terrifying this is. When they're sick and you have no backup plan. I have a conference, Rachel. I know, and I'm sorry, but this is an emergency. I wouldn't ask if I had any other option. The same script, different emergency. I postponed the trip, $1,850 in non-refundable hotel and flights, plus the missed networking event where the EVP specifically asked to meet me. Sarah called me after. She didn't say much, just, I can't keep putting your name forward if you keep withdrawing. I watched Rachel's kids for 3 days. Mason wasn't sick. Neither was Lily. They played outside, ate normally, no fever, no symptoms. On October 15th, Nathan showed me Rachel's Instagram story. Geotag, Scottsdale, Arizona. She was at a resort spa. The photo showed a pool, a cocktail, a caption. Much needed reset. Her huge work commitment was a vacation with her boyfriend. I stared at that photo for a long time. The spa package she'd booked cost $890. I know because the resort tag was visible in the background. Nathan sat next to me. He opened his laptop. I started keeping track, he said quietly. He showed me a Google Calendar he'd made. Shared folder. Title: Family Pattern Documentation. Every canceled plan, every emergency, every time I'd said yes. He'd been documenting it since Seattle, color-coded. Red for canceled opportunities, yellow for delayed plans, blue for my original commitments. There were 7 entries in 18 months. Every single one coincided with something good about to happen for me. I'm not trying to turn you against your family, Nathan said. I just want you to see what I see. This isn't bad luck. This is a pattern. I closed the laptop. I didn't want to believe it. But the crack in the windshield wasn't small anymore. It was spreading. November 2025. The VP role. My company restructured. Corporate strategy needed a vice president. Sarah called me into her office the day the job posting went live. You're ready for this, she said. She slid a folder across her desk. Final round interview is December 16th. Chicago HQ. Panel of 3 executives, including the chief strategy officer. Salary range is $142 to $155. I made $98,000. This was a $47,000 jump, minimum. I've recommended you 3 times for advancement, Sarah said. Her voice was kind but firm. Twice you withdrew last minute. I can't do it a 4th time, Patricia. The executive team will notice. If you're not serious about this, tell me now. I looked at the folder. Interview date: December 16th, 2025, 2 p.m. Central. Location: 35th floor, Chicago Loop. I'm serious, I said. Sarah studied me. You've been a stellar project manager for 3.5 years. You exceed every metric. But you have to actually show up. Not just to the interview. To the life you keep saying you want. I carried that folder home like it was made of glass. Nathan and I had been married since April. 7 months. We still hadn't had a honeymoon. We'd planned Maui for May. Rachel had an emergency the week before. We rescheduled for August. Mom had a health scare in late June. We canceled again. Now it was November. Nathan hadn't complained, not once, but I could see it. The way he stopped talking about future plans, the way he said, "We'll go when we can," in that flat voice that meant he didn't believe it anymore. I sat down with him that night. Chicago interview is December 16th. I want to book the honeymoon right after, Hawaii, December 17th through 24th. Patricia. He said my name carefully, like he was holding something breakable. Are you sure? Because if we book this and you cancel again, I won't cancel. Your family? I won't cancel. He looked at me for a long time. Then he opened his laptop. We booked Kauai, Grand Hyatt, Ocean View Room 2816, 8 days, non-refundable. That night, I sent an email. To Mom, to Rachel. CC'd Nathan for documentation. Subject, December 15th to 24th. Unavailability. Mom and Rachel, I wanted to let you know well in advance. I will be completely unavailable December 15th to 24th. I have a critical work commitment in Chicago on the 16th, followed by our postponed honeymoon. Nathan's sister Emily is our emergency contact during this time. I've given you 6 weeks' notice so you can plan accordingly. Love, Patricia. I hit send at 7:18 p.m., November 1st. The read receipts came in the next morning. Mom opened it at 8:23, Rachel at 9:41. Mom replied, "Okay, honey. Have a wonderful time." Rachel didn't reply at all. That should have been my first warning. Rachel always replied, usually with a list of reasons why my plans were inconvenient for her. Thanksgiving was uncomfortable. November 28th. Mom's house. Nathan and I brought wine and dessert and $50 for groceries. Rachel brought nothing. She said she forgot. Her boyfriend wasn't there. Had to work, she said. She didn't elaborate. Mason and Lily, 5 and 7 now, were playing in the living room. Rachel was in the kitchen, cutting turkey. She didn't look up when she spoke. "Must be nice to just leave whenever you want." Mom tensed. "Rachel, don't start." "I'm not starting anything." Rachel's knife hit the cutting board harder than necessary. "I'm just saying, some of us don't have that option." I didn't respond. Nathan's hand found mine under the table. When we left, he said, "She's going to do something." "What do you mean?" "I don't know, but she's not done." I wanted to tell him he was wrong, but I'd seen Rachel's face when she said "must be nice." It wasn't sad, it wasn't envious, it was calculating. December 15th came fast. Our flight to Chicago was 6:20 a.m. the next morning. United 1823, Gate C16. I had everything packed. My interview suit, my presentation materials, my Hawaii suitcase already in the car. Nathan made dinner. We ate quietly. I kept checking my phone. Nothing from Rachel. Nothing from Mom. At 9:47 p.m. my phone rang. Mom. "Hi, honey." Her voice was strained. "I'm sorry to call so late." My stomach dropped. "What's wrong?" "It's Rachel. She's really sick. Food poisoning, she thinks. She can't stop throwing up. She asked me to watch the kids, but I have that thing with the church ladies tomorrow morning, and I just can't." "Mom!" "I leave for Chicago in 8 hours." "I know, sweetheart. I know. But she's desperate. She doesn't have anyone else. You know how hard things have been for her since the divorce." Rachel had been divorced for 2 years. This wasn't about the divorce. "I sent an email 6 weeks ago," I said carefully. "I told you both I would be unavailable." "I know you did. But this is an emergency, Patricia. Real food poisoning. She can barely stand. The kids can't see her like this. They're scared." Nathan was watching me. I put the phone on speaker. "What about her boyfriend?" I asked. "He's out of town. Work trip." "What hospital is she at?" Pause. "She's not at the hospital. She doesn't think she needs to go. She just needs someone to watch Mason and Lily for the night." "Just the night?" "Well," Mom's voice got softer, coaxing. "Maybe through tomorrow, just until she can function again. You understand." Nathan shook his head slowly. I closed my eyes, saw Seattle, saw Boston, saw Nathan's calendar with all those red blocks, saw Sarah's face when she said, "I can't recommend you a 4th time." "I can't," I said. "What?" "I can't watch them. I have a VP interview tomorrow. I told you 6 weeks ago." "Patricia," Mom's voice changed, sharper. "This is your sister. She's sick. Those are your niece and nephew. Family helps family." I've helped. I've helped every time. I canceled Seattle. I canceled Boston. I postponed my honeymoon twice. I've lost almost $40,000 in opportunities and expenses because of family emergencies. I gave you 6 weeks' notice this time. I'm not canceling again. Silence. Then, "I didn't raise you to be this selfish." The word hit like a slap. Nathan grabbed the phone. "Barbara, this is Nathan. Patricia has been more than generous with her time and her career. She set a boundary 6 weeks in advance. That's not selfish. That's reasonable. You don't understand what it's like to have children, Mom said. Her voice was cold now. You don't understand that sometimes plans have to change. Then Rachel should have made a backup plan 6 weeks ago when Patricia told her she'd be unavailable. Mom hung up. My phone buzzed immediately. Rachel. Are you seriously not coming? I didn't reply. 3 more texts in 2 minutes. Mom said you refused to help. I'm literally sick and you're choosing a job interview? What kind of person does that? Nathan took my phone. He turned it off. Go to bed. We're leaving at 4 a.m. You have an interview to nail. I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about Mom's voice. I didn't raise you to be this selfish. But somewhere underneath the guilt, there was something new, something harder. Maybe she did raise me to be this selfish. Maybe choosing yourself isn't selfish. Maybe it's just called boundaries. At 3:55 a.m., my alarm went off. I got dressed. Nathan loaded the car. We drove to the airport in silence. I checked my phone before we boarded. 4 more texts from Rachel. I didn't read them. We got on the plane. I put my phone in airplane mode. Nathan squeezed my hand. I'm proud of you. I didn't feel proud. I felt like I was crossing a line I couldn't uncross. The flight attendant closed the door. The plane pushed back from the gate. That's when I realized, for the first time in 2 years, I'd said no. And I'd meant it. The flight was 3 hours and 42 minutes. I spent most of it staring out the window. Nathan worked on his laptop. Halfway through the flight, he closed it and looked at me. You okay? I don't know. You did the right thing. Did I? I turned to face him. What if she's really sick? What if the kids need... Patricia, he said it gently. Rachel has a phone. She has neighbors. She has access to urgent care, emergency rooms, her ex-husband, her boyfriend, and your mother. She's not stranded on a desert island. She's a grown woman who was told 6 weeks ago that you wouldn't be available. But what if... No. His voice was firm now. No more what ifs. You've played that game for 2 years. What if Mom really needs me? What if Rachel can't find anyone else? What if I'm being unreasonable? You've twisted yourself into knots trying to be reasonable, and every single time they've proven it was a test, not an emergency, a test. I thought about the Instagram photo from Scottsdale, the surgery paperwork from Seattle. What if this time it's real? I whispered. Nathan pulled out his phone. Let me check. I watched him scroll. Then his jaw tightened. He turned the screen toward me. Rachel's Instagram. Posted 43 minutes ago. Location tag, Canyon View Spa Resort, 45 minutes from her house. The photo showed her sitting by a pool in a white robe, a champagne glass. The caption, self-care. Sunday came early. Sometimes you have to put yourself first. I stared at it, read it again. Self-care Sunday. She wasn't sick. She was at a spa. Nathan. My voice sounded far away. The kids. He was already pulling up his texts. I'm messaging Emily. She lives 20 minutes from your place. I'll have her do a drive-by. Make sure the kids are actually okay. We landed at O'Hare at 10:37 a.m. I turned my phone back on. 16 missed calls. 12 from Rachel, 3 from Mom, 1 from a number I didn't recognize. The texts loaded. I scrolled through them. They got worse as the night went on. 11:52 p.m. I can't believe you got on that plane. 12:14 a.m. Mom's right about you. You're not the person we thought you were. 12:41 a.m. Fine, I'll figure it out myself, like always. Then nothing for hours. Then, at 6:18 a.m. They're at your door. 6:33 a.m. Your neighbors are asking questions. I told them you'd be back soon. 6:51 a.m. They're crying for you, but you chose a promotion over blood. Women like you don't deserve children of your own. I felt Nathan go still next to me. He was reading over my shoulder. The voicemails were worse. I listened to the first one. Rachel's voice, sharp and tight. Patricia, I need you to call me back immediately. I had to make a hard choice because you weren't available. Don't make this my fault. The second voicemail was Mom. Patricia, please call. Rachel left the children at your house. She didn't know what else to do. She's been sick all night and you wouldn't help. Please, just come home. The third voicemail was different. A woman's voice I didn't recognize. Hi, this is Susan Patterson, your neighbor across the street? I'm calling because there are two young children sitting on your porch. They said their aunt lives here, but she's not home. They seem okay, but it's pretty cold out. Can you give me a call back? I'm a little concerned. My hands started shaking. Nathan took the phone. He called Emily. Check Patricia's house, now. Then he called Mrs. Patterson back. I could only hear his side. This is Nathan Bowen, Patricia's husband. Yes, we're in Chicago. No, we didn't authorize anyone to leave children there. Are they safe right now? Okay. Can you stay with them until we get someone there? Thank you. We really appreciate it. He hung up, looked at me. Emily's on her way. Mrs. Patterson brought the kids inside her house. They're fine. Confused, but fine. What time did Rachel drop them off? Nathan checked the doorbell camera app on his phone. He'd installed it 6 months ago. I'd thought it was paranoid. Now I watched the footage. Timestamp, 11:38 p.m. Rachel's car pulls up. She gets out, opens the back door. Mason and Lily climb out. They're in pajamas, carrying backpacks. Rachel walks them to my front door. She knocks. Waits 30 seconds. Knocks again. Then she bends down, says something to the kids, hugs them quickly, and walks back to her car. She drives away. The kids stand there. Lily tries the doorknob. Locked. She sits down on the porch. Mason sits next to her. Lily puts her arm around him. They sit there for 7 minutes before Mrs. Patterson's porch light comes on across the street. I watched it 3 times. Each time, the same sick feeling in my stomach. She knew we weren't home, I said. She knew. Yeah. Nathan's voice was flat. She knew. My interview was in 3.5 hours. We took a cab to the hotel. I changed into my interview suit in the hotel bathroom. My hands were still shaking. Nathan sat on the bed. Emily's with the kids now. They're safe. Mrs. Patterson gave her statement to Emily for the record. Rachel dropped them off at 11:38 p.m., knocked twice, and left. The kids are fine. Scared, but fine. I should go back. No. Nathan, she left them on a porch in December. I know what she did, and that's exactly why you're not going back. He stood up, took my shoulders. Listen to me. If you go back now, Rachel wins. She gets exactly what she wants. Proof that she can manipulate you into dropping everything. Proof that you'll always choose them over your own life. But the kids are with Emily. They're safe. They're warm. They're fed. They're watching cartoons. Emily's calling their father right now to pick them up. Rachel doesn't get to use her own children as hostages. I sat down on the bed, put my head in my hands. Nathan knelt in front of me. You didn't abandon those kids. Rachel did. She's the one who drove away. Not you. Mom's going to say I should have been there. Mom enabled this. She called you at 9:47 p.m. the night before your interview and tried to guilt you into canceling. She knew. She's known this whole time. I looked at him. You really think Mom knew Rachel wasn't sick? He pulled out his phone, showed me the timeline he'd built. Rachel posted the spa photo at 9:30 p.m. Your mom called you at 9:47. Rachel was already at a resort when your mom called to tell you Rachel was violently ill. The crack in the windshield shattered completely. My phone buzzed. Sarah. Good luck today. You've got this. I stared at the text. Thought about Seattle. About Boston. About the calendar Nathan had been keeping. About 18 months of canceled plans and lost opportunities, and apologizing for wanting my own life. I stood up, smoothed my suit jacket. What time is it? 1:46. Interview's at 2. You've got 14 minutes to get there. I grabbed my portfolio. Call me if anything changes with the kids. Nathan kissed me. Go show them what you're worth. I walked into that boardroom at 1:58 p.m. My phone was off. For the first time in 2 years, I chose myself. The interview lasted an hour and 32 minutes. 3 executives, the chief strategy officer, the head of operations, the VP of finance. They asked me about restructuring timelines, resource allocation, cross-functional team management, long-term strategic planning. I answered every question. I didn't think about Rachel. I didn't think about the kids on my porch. I didn't think about Mom's voice saying, "I didn't raise you to be this selfish." I thought about the spreadsheet I'd built tracking cost overruns for the past 3 years. I thought about the process improvement I'd designed that saved the company $200,000 annually. I thought about the team I'd built and the metrics I'd exceeded and the projects I'd delivered under budget and ahead of schedule. At 3:32, the chief strategy officer leaned back in his chair. Patricia, I'm going to be direct. We've interviewed 4 candidates. You're the most qualified on paper. But I need to know you're committed. This role requires availability, travel, executive presence. Can you give me that? I met his eyes. Yes. No hesitation? None. He glanced at the other 2 executives. Something unspoken passed between them. We'll be in touch by end of week. I shook their hands, walked out, took the elevator down 35 floors. In the lobby, I turned my phone back on. 23 new texts, 11 voicemails. I didn't read them. Not yet. I called Nathan. How'd it go? He asked. I think I nailed it. I could hear his smile. That's my girl. The kids? With their dad. He picked them up an hour ago. He's pissed at Rachel. Wants to talk to you, but mostly to say thank you for having Emily handle it safely. And Rachel? Radio silence since you didn't come running back. Emily said she showed up at your house around 1 p.m., saw the kids were gone, and left. I sat down on a bench in the lobby. She didn't even check if they were okay. No, she checked if her plan worked. It didn't. I closed my eyes, breathed. There's something else, Nathan said carefully. I've been going through the evidence, all of it. I think we need to talk when you get to the hotel. Nathan had the laptop open when I got back to the room. His architect brain had built a presentation. Sit down, he said. He showed me the calendar. 18 months, every entry color-coded. Red. Career opportunity I'd canceled. Seattle. June 2023. Boston. October 2024. 3 smaller incidents I'd forgotten about. A networking dinner, a professional development workshop, a client meeting I'd rescheduled. Yellow. Personal events delayed. Our honeymoon. Twice. A weekend trip to see my college friend. Nathan's family reunion. Blue. My original commitments before the emergency. Every single red and yellow block, Nathan said, falls within 72 hours of a blue block. Every single one. I stared at the screen. The pattern was undeniable. Now look at this. He pulled up a spreadsheet. Financial impact. Seattle training cancellation. $620 flight. Plus opportunity cost of VP track advancement. Estimated 18-month delay in promotion equals $36,000 in lost salary differential. Boston conference, $1,850 direct costs. Plus missed EVP networking, which likely cost me consideration for the earlier restructure conversation. Smaller incidents. Combined $1,180 in cancellation fees, rescheduling costs, and lost deposits. Total calculated impact, $38,650. That's a conservative estimate, Nathan said. It doesn't count stress. It doesn't count damage to your professional reputation. It doesn't count what it's done to us. He opened a new folder. Screenshots. Rachel's Instagram. The Scottsdale post from October 2024. time-stamped during her childcare crisis. Another post from June 2023. Location tag: Desert Ridge Mall, Phoenix. Posted June 17, 2023. The day before Mom's surgery. The caption: Girls' Weekend with my bestie. Rachel hadn't been home taking care of Mom. She'd been in Phoenix. Nathan, my voice cracked. She planned these. Yeah, all of them. Yeah. I stood up, walked to the window. Chicago stretched out below. Cold, gray, beautiful. Why? I whispered. Nathan came up behind me. I think Rachel sees your success as a threat. You're younger, you're advancing, you're building something, and every time you move forward, it highlights that she's not. So she sabotages me. She keeps you in the backup role, the helper, the one who's always available because she doesn't have her own important life. I thought about Thanksgiving. Must be nice to just leave whenever you want. It wasn't about the trip, I said slowly. It was about the fact that I could. Yeah. My phone buzzed. Sarah. Can you talk? I called her back. Patricia? Sarah's voice was warm. I wanted to tell you before it goes official. You got it. VP of Corporate Strategy, 148,000. Start date January 6th. Congratulations. I couldn't speak. Patricia, you there? I'm here, Thank you. Thank you for believing in me. You earned it. I'll send the official offer Monday, but I wanted you to hear it from me first. Enjoy your honeymoon. You've earned that too. I hung up, turned to Nathan. I got it. He pulled me into a hug. He didn't say anything. He didn't have to. I cried, not sad tears, not happy tears, something in between. Relief, maybe, or vindication. Or just the release of 2 years of holding myself small enough to fit into the space my family wanted me to occupy. When I finally stopped, Nathan said quietly, "You need to decide what happens next." What do you mean? With Rachel, with your mom. You set a boundary. They crossed it, violently. What happens now? I pulled out my phone, read through the texts I'd been avoiding. Rachel's messages got more desperate as the morning went on. Why aren't you answering? Emily took the kids. She told their dad I abandoned them. You're going to pay for this. Mom's ashamed of you. So am I. Then, at 2:18 p.m., a different tone. Fine. You want to be selfish? Be selfish. But don't ever ask me for help again. I almost laughed. When had I ever asked Rachel for help? I scrolled to Mom's messages. Patricia, please call me. We need to talk about what happened. Rachel is devastated. Those children were terrified. I don't know what's happened to you. The last one, sent an hour ago. Your father would be so disappointed. That one landed. Dad had died when I was 23. He'd been gone 8 years. Mom knew exactly what she was doing, invoking him. I showed Nathan. That's emotional terrorism, he said flatly. I know. What do you want to do? I thought about it. Really thought about it. I want to send them everything. The calendar, the financials, the Instagram screenshots, the doorbell footage. I want them to see what I see. Okay. And then I want to stop answering. Nathan nodded. How long? I don't know. Until they can acknowledge what they did. Or maybe forever. I haven't decided yet. He opened his laptop. Let's build the email. We spent 2 hours on it. Nathan compiled everything into a single PDF timeline. Evidence, financial impact, screenshots, doorbell camera footage links. I wrote the email, deleted it, wrote it again. The final version was simple. Mom and Rachel, I'm writing this once. I won't be repeating myself. Attached is documentation of a pattern that has cost me $38,650 in lost opportunities and direct expenses over the past 18 months. Every emergency coincided with a significant career or personal milestone. Every single one. Rachel. The doorbell camera shows you dropping Mason and Lily at my door at 11:38 p.m. on December 15th. You knocked twice and left. You knew I was in Chicago. You weren't sick. Your Instagram shows you were at Canyon View Spa at the time Mom called to tell me you had food poisoning. Mom. Rachel posted that spa photo at 9:30 p.m. You called me at 9:47 p.m. You knew. I have copies of everything. The Seattle surgery paperwork showing Mom's procedure was scheduled 6 weeks before anyone told me. The Scottsdale Instagram post during the Boston childcare crisis. The complete timeline of canceled plans. I'm not angry. I'm done. I set a boundary 6 weeks in advance. You ignored it. You used children as leverage. You tried to destroy a career opportunity I'd worked 3 years to earn. I got the VP position. I start January 6th. Nathan and I are leaving for our honeymoon tomorrow. We'll be unreachable for 8 days. When we return, here are my new boundaries. 1. No contact for 6 months minimum. If there's a genuine emergency, contact Nathan's sister Emily. 2. Any future relationship will be on my terms, at my pace, with my boundaries respected. 3. If those terms don't work for you, I understand, but I'm no longer available to be your backup plan, your emotional support, or your proof that family always comes first. I love you both, but I love myself too. And I'm choosing me. Patricia. I read it 3 times. Changed, I'm not angry, to, I'm not writing this in anger. Changed it back. Left it. You sure? Nathan asked. No, but I'm sending it anyway. I attached the PDF. Typed Mom's email. Rachel's email. My finger hovered over send. Nathan didn't say anything. He just waited. I pressed send. The whoosh sound felt final, like closing a door I'd been holding open for 2 years. We flew to Kauai the next morning. 8 days. No phone calls, no emails, no family drama. We hiked the Nepali coast. We watched the sunset from Hanalei Bay. We ate shave ice and fresh poke and drank Mai Tais on the beach. Nathan didn't bring up my family. I didn't bring up work. We just existed, together, for the first time since we'd gotten married. On day 5, we were sitting on the beach at sunset. Nathan turned to me. How do you feel? About what? All of it. I thought about it. Lighter, I said finally. Like I've been carrying something heavy for so long I forgot what it felt like to put it down. Any regrets? About the email? About choosing yourself? I watched the waves. No, I should have done it 2 years ago. You weren't ready 2 years ago. What makes you think I'm ready now? He smiled. Because you're here. Not because I dragged you. Not because you felt guilty. Because you chose this. That night, I turned on my phone for the first time in 6 days. 47 new messages. I scrolled through them without opening. Most were from Rachel. Defensive at first, then angry, then accusatory. The final one, sent 3 days ago. I hope you're happy. You've destroyed this family. 3 from Mom. All variations of, we need to talk. 1 from Emily. Kids are with their dad full-time now. He's filing for full custody. Rachel's not handling it well. Thought you should know. And 1 from an unknown number. I opened it. Hi, Patricia. This is Susan Patterson, your neighbor. I wanted you to know that I gave a statement to Mason and Lily's father about what I witnessed the night of December 15th. I hope your interview went well. You have a beautiful home and you seem like a lovely person. I'm sorry your family put you in that position. I showed Nathan. You've got good neighbors, he said. Yeah. I didn't respond to any of the messages. Not Mom's, not Rachel's, not even Mrs. Patterson's, though I made a mental note to bring her something when we got home. I just turned the phone back off. You okay? Nathan asked. Yeah, I said, and I meant it. We got home on Christmas Eve. The house was exactly as we'd left it. Emily had watered the plants. The mail was stacked neatly on the counter. There was 1 package on the porch, no return address. Inside was a Christmas card. From Mom. The front had a photo from 5 years ago. Me, Mom, Rachel, and Dad. Before he died. Before everything got complicated. Inside in Mom's handwriting. Patricia, I've been thinking a lot about your email. You're right about some things. I did know Rachel wasn't sick. I called you anyway because I thought you'd understand. I thought you'd help. I enabled her because I was afraid. Afraid she'd fall apart. Afraid she'd make bad choices. Afraid she'd take the kids and I'd never see them again. I didn't think about what I was asking you to sacrifice. I didn't think about the cost. I'm sorry. Rachel isn't ready to apologize. She feels betrayed. She thinks you abandoned her. I've tried to explain. She won't listen. I don't know if we can fix this, but I want you to know I'm proud of you. Your father would be proud of you too. Not because of the VP position, because you finally stood up for yourself. I hope you and Nathan had a beautiful honeymoon. You both deserved it. I'll respect your boundary. 6 months. When you're ready to talk, I'll be here. Love, Mom. I read it twice. Then I handed it to Nathan. He read it, nodded slowly. That's a start. Is it enough? That's up to you. I put the card on the fridge, next to my VP offer letter, next to the photo of Nathan and me on the beach in Kauai. I don't know yet, I said. But at least it's honest. January 6th, first day as VP of Corporate Strategy. I wore my best suit, the one I'd worn to the Chicago interview, the one that felt like armor. Sarah met me at the elevator. Welcome to the executive floor. My office had a window, a real window, a view of the city. On my desk, a plant from my team, a card signed by 14 people, and a handwritten note from the chief strategy officer. Patricia, glad to have you on board. Let's build something great. Michael. I sat down in my chair. It was leather. It swiveled. I opened my laptop. My new email signature loaded automatically. Patricia Bowen, Vice President, Corporate Strategy. I stared at it for a long moment. Then I got to work. 3 months later, Rachel sent a text. Can we talk? I didn't respond immediately. I sat with it, showed Nathan. What do you want to do? He asked. I don't know if I'm ready. Then don't respond. But what if? He touched my hand. Patricia, you don't owe her a response. You don't owe her forgiveness. You don't owe her access to your life. Not until you're ready, maybe not ever. I looked at the text again. 2 words. No apology, no acknowledgement. Just, can we talk? I deleted it. A week later, Mom called. I let it go to voicemail. Her message was short. Hi, sweetheart. Just checking in. No pressure. I love you. I called her back 2 days later. We talked for 20 minutes. Small talk. Safe talk. How was work? How was Nathan? How was the weather? At the end, she said, I miss you. I miss you too, I said, and I meant it. Can I see you sometime? Just us? I thought about it. Maybe. Not yet, but maybe. I'll wait, she said. We hung up. Nathan looked at me. How was that? Weird. But okay. You didn't cave. No, I didn't cave. He kissed the top of my head. I'm proud of you. 6 months after Chicago, I got a message from Emily. Rachel's in therapy. Thought you should know. No expectations. Just FYI. I didn't respond to that either, but I thought about it. Therapy was a start. Maybe. Or maybe it wasn't my problem anymore. A year later, Nathan and I went back to Kauai. Anniversary trip. Same hotel, same beach, same sunset. How's work? He asked. Good. Great, actually. We just closed the biggest contract in company history. I'm up for senior VP next year. And your family? I thought about it. Mom and I have coffee once a month. It's cordial, careful. We're rebuilding, slowly. And Rachel? Haven't spoken to her. She sent a card on my birthday. I didn't respond. Do you want to? I don't know. Part of me wants to believe she's changed. Part of me knows it doesn't matter if she has. The relationship we had is gone. If we build something new, it'll be different. Smaller, with walls. Nathan nodded. And you're okay with that? Yeah, I think I am. We sat in silence for a while. The waves kept coming, steady, reliable, relentless. You know what I realized? I said. What? I spent 2 years thinking I had to choose between my family and my future. But that was never the real choice. What was the real choice? Whether to let them define me or to define myself. He squeezed my hand. And I chose me. The sun dipped below the horizon. The sky turned pink and orange and purple. I chose me, I said again. Softer, like a promise I was still learning to keep. And for the first time in a long time, I felt free. People ask me sometimes if I regret it, getting on that plane, sending that email, walking away from the family I'd spent my whole life trying to please. The answer is no. I didn't get my family back. Not the way it was. Maybe I never will. But I got something better. I got my life back. The VP role led to Senior VP 2 years later. The Senior VP role led to Chief Strategy Officer 5 years after that. Nathan and I bought a house. We travel. We have plans that we actually keep. Mom and I have a relationship. It's not the same. It's smaller, more honest, less enmeshed. We have coffee once a month. We talk about safe things. Sometimes we talk about hard things. She's trying. I'm trying. Rachel and I don't speak. Maybe we will someday. Maybe we won't. I've made peace with both possibilities. The kids are teenagers now. Their dad has full custody. They're doing well. I see them occasionally. It's awkward but kind. They don't remember the night they sat on my porch. I'm grateful for that. I still have Nathan's calendar, the color-coded one. I keep it as a reminder, not of what they did to me, but of what I almost let them take. Because here's what I learned. People who love you don't make you prove it by setting yourself on fire. Boundaries aren't betrayal, they're self-preservation. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away from people who can only love you when you're small. I walked into that boardroom at 1:58 p.m. I chose myself, and I would make that choice again, every single time. My name is Patricia Bowen. I'm 34 years old. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer of a Fortune 500 company, and I've never been happier.